tell me, you mentioned about your, that there have been many learnings. Is there any one particular one that you could say was the biggest learning on us from your experience on being on SER volunteering projects as volunteer and also as team leader?
Yeah, which are two very varied roles, as anybody who has done both will know. You know yourself that, Joe.
I do.
I suppose the one common thing is, the difference that each individual can make. I've really seen that from, it was 2008, I started a volunteer program in Brazil. It was a house building project, and before it, I'd attended the training days, but still my knowledge of what we were going to do, it was kind of get out there, work as hard as possible. We're going over there to build these houses. The hard work's going to happen over there. And I hadn't really thought about when I come home or what it's going to be like. But, Sarah did, I remember the training days, talk about the difference between being and doing. It was only when I came back from that project that you actually realise, what was a 20-year-old college student with no building experience really doing on a construction site in Brazil. Who did I think I was that, I could just go over there and build them houses? That the learning is actually about living in the community. I think it was possibly an 8-week project at that time. But it was about being with the people. It was about seeing their daily struggles. It was about seeing the difficulties, the injustices that they face. And that's a common theme, I think, across all of the countries and communities that Serve work with, is that it's not just about what you see on the ground when you're doing your project. It's not just about the teaching, it's not just about the construction work. Of course they're important, and it's great to share our skills, but it's not about us going out there and teaching them. I have learned personally so much from the people I've met there, and the real work really starts at home. Once you get home, I think that's the biggest learning about the volunteering, is that, we have a duty to those people then to become advocates for them, to share our stories, share our experiences, because they don't have the representation on the global stage like we do. And I think it's so important that when we come home, we need to look at what we can do in our daily lives in order to have a direct impact on those people. If it's the food that we choose to buy, where is it sourced? If it's the clothes that we decide to wear, like that, are people getting a fair day's wage for a fair day's work? Even with the COVID vaccines at the minute, is it fair that, a healthy 20-year-old in Ireland can get it ahead of somebody who's in their 80s living in India, or in a marginalised community? And it's keeping ourselves educated, because I think in the news at the minute as well, we don't hear the stories from these countries. The struggles still continue. The injustices are still there, but they just don't take priority anymore. So I think definitely the biggest learning is that, the work starts when you get home, and that every individual can make such a difference and can give a voice to the people in the communities that Serve work with.
Yeah, yes.